Okay, so you breathe, right? Like we all do. In, out, all day long. Didn't even have to think about it just now, did you?
Nope.
It's like, what, over 20,000 times a day or something crazy like that? But here's the thing.
Uh-oh. What's the catch?
What if we're doing it wrong?
Doing breathing wrong. Okay, now you've got my attention.
Right. That's what this Market Shoppy course is all about. It's called, get this, the world's most popular and trusted breathing video course.
Bold claim right out of the gate.
Totally. But they're saying it can unlock, like, a whole new level of well-being just by changing how we breathe.
Sign me up. What kind of well-being we talking?
More energy, better focus, even managing stress better.
Sounds pretty good, I gotta admit.
Amazing, right?
It definitely plays into what a lot of people are looking for these days. I mean, who wouldn't want more energy or less stress, right?
Exactly.
But, saying it's the most popular and trusted, that's classic marketing, right?
For sure.
So let's actually, look at what's in the course, see if it lives up to all the hype.
That's what we're here for. It's a deep dive. So this Breatheology Method, from what I've gathered, they claim it can help you regulate your body. Like everything. Your mind, even your nervous system.
You offer that from breathing?
That's what they say. Oh, and that it can even help you, handle stressful situations better.
Interesting. The idea that your breathing can impact your nervous system, that's not some brand new thing.
Right.
Actually, there's a lot more research coming out now about how breathing affects us both physically and mentally. It's kind of fascinating how something so basic can have such a big impact.
Right. And this course is called Breatheology Essentials. Seems like it's designed to be like an intro to their whole method.
Makes sense. Start with the basics.
Yeah, and it looks pretty hands-on. Like they have recorded group sessions and you learn a new breathing exercise each day.
A structured approach is usually good, especially if you're new to something.
Totally. And get this, the benefits they promise.
Hit me with it.
More energy, better sleep. Who doesn't want that? Less anxiety, more focus. They even say it can help with workouts and recovery. Oh, and they talk about how breathing and meditation can reduce anxiety, too.
It's a pretty impressive list of promises.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It almost sounds too good to be true.
Yeah, you got to be a little skeptical when you see claims like that. But the connection between, breath work and those kind of benefits, people are starting to pay more attention to that.
For sure.
The question is, does this specific method actually do what it says it does?
Exactly. That's what we need to find out. So how does this Breatheology method actually work? What makes it different?
Well, looking at their website, they don't get too specific about how it works.
Figures.
But they do talk a lot about, how you can use these breathing techniques in everyday life.
Practical stuff.
Right. They even have this quote. It says, "One of the things I get asked is how I stay calm under pressure. One of my greatest secrets is breathing."
I like that.
Yeah. They're really pushing this idea that, simple breathing exercises can make a big difference.
Okay, but is there, actual science behind this? We breathe all the time. So how can just changing how we breathe lead to all those benefits they talk about?
That's where it gets really interesting. Your breath, it's directly connected to your autonomic nervous system,
Right.
which is the system that controls things like your heart rate, your blood pressure, how your body reacts to stress.
Okay.
And by controlling your breath, like how fast you breathe, how deep, even how you use your diaphragm, you can actually affect that whole system.
So it's like we have this control panel for our body and mind, but we don't know how to use it.
Exactly. Think about it. When you get stressed out, what happens to your breathing?
It gets all fast and shallow.
Right. That's your sympathetic nervous system kicking in, getting your body ready for fight or flight.
Oh, yeah.
But if you slow down your breath, make it deeper, you're sending a signal to your body that it's okay to chill out.
Yeah.
And that activates your parasympathetic nervous system.
A rest and digest one, right?
Bingo.
So by practicing these breathing techniques, you could train your body to react differently to stress.
Exactly. It's like building a muscle, but for your nervous system. You're training it to be more resilient.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And more research is coming out all the time, but some studies are already showing that even doing breath work for a short time can actually change your stress hormones and make you feel better overall.
Wow. Sounds like this course is really onto something. They also mention how it can help with sleep and focus, even athletic performance.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Breathing affects all of that.
Really? How so?
Well, think about sleep. When you lie down to go to sleep, ideally your breathing slows down, gets deeper naturally, helps your body relax.
Right.
But a lot of people, they've got anxiety, their thoughts are racing, keeps their breathing fast and shallow, makes it harder to fall asleep and stay asleep.
Oh, yeah, I know that feeling.
Right. But there are breathing techniques that can help calm your mind and get your body ready for sleep.
So it's not just about relaxation, but it can actually improve how our bodies work in all sorts of ways.
Absolutely. And for focus and, how well your brain works, some research shows that certain breathing patterns can increase blood flow to the brain.
Interesting.
Which could help you be more alert, improve memory, even boost creativity. It's still a new area of research, but the possibilities are pretty exciting.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder, all those times you instinctively take a deep breath before something stressful, maybe our bodies already kind of know what to do.
Could be. Our bodies are pretty smart. We don't always give them enough credit. Maybe conscious breath work is just us, tapping into what our bodies already know and using it in a more intentional way.
I like that. I'm starting to see why this breatheology method is so popular.
Mm-hmm.
But do they actually explain, what techniques they use?
Not really. They kind of keep that under wraps, which is typical for these kinds of online courses. They want to draw you in, without giving away all the secrets.
That makes sense, I guess. But I'm still curious about how their techniques are different from other stuff that's out there.
Yeah, I agree. But based on what they do say, all that practical application stuff, the daily exercises, sounds like they probably use a bunch of different techniques, like one specifically for stress, for sleep, for focus.
And based on what we know about the science of breathing, those outcomes seem possible, right?
Totally. While we can't say for sure if this specific course lives up to all the hype, the ideas behind breathwork are solid. There's a lot of evidence to support it.
That's good to know. I'm definitely more interested in this now than I was at the beginning of our deep dive. But before we move on, are there any, downsides to breathwork? Could it actually be bad for you?
That's a good question. It's always smart to, be a little careful when you're trying something new, especially when it comes to, wellness stuff.
Right. It sounds pretty harmless, but are there any risks with breathwork?
For most people, breathwork is totally safe, but there are some things to keep in mind.
Okay, like what?
Well, some people, especially if they're new to it, they might get some side effects from doing intense breathing exercises.
Side effects? Like what kind?
Things like feeling lightheaded or maybe some tingling sensations. Nothing serious, but it's important to pay attention to your body, and if anything feels weird, just stop.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like any new exercise, you got to start slow and build up, right?
Exactly. And if you have any health issues already, especially anything with your breathing or your heart, you should definitely talk to your doctor first.
Always good advice. So common sense and all that. Okay, but let's go back to, the good stuff, all the benefits. For our listeners, what's the main takeaway here? Why should they care about breathing?
I think what's really cool about breathwork is that anyone can do it. You don't need any special equipment. It's free. It's something we all have, and we just don't realize how powerful it can be.
Right. It's like this hidden superpower or something.
Yeah, exactly. Just by, paying attention to your breath and learning to control it, you can really improve your physical and mental health, even how you feel emotionally.
It's amazing when you think about it. We've had this awesome tool all along, and we're just now figuring it out.
I know, right? And this Market Shoppy course, they're focused on the, practical side of things, but breathing can also be really spiritual.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that, in yoga and meditation and stuff.
Right. It makes you think about, how breath and your body and your mind are all connected on a deeper level.
Yeah, totally. That's something for our listeners to think about as they, maybe explore breath work more.
Absolutely. So to wrap things up, what do you think? Should people check out this Breatheology method?
You know what? Based on everything we've talked about today, it does seem like a good way for people to learn about breath work.
Yeah, it seems pretty well structured, focus on practical stuff, and it covers things people want help with, like stress and focus and energy.
Really worth considering.
Yeah, whether it's as amazing as they say it is, well, people will have to try it and see for themselves, right?
True. It's definitely piqued my interest, that's for sure. And I bet our listeners are feeling the same way.
Totally. And there's so much out there to explore with breathwork. There are books, apps, even in-person classes. Find what works for you and just start incorporating, conscious breathing into your daily life. It can make a real difference.
Great advice. It feels like we've just scratched the surface here. Thanks for diving deep with me today.
My pleasure.
And for our listeners, remember, take a deep breath and see what happens.